Good evening, everyone, and today I'm going to introduce my trip to Japan, and I name it the trip of astonishment. And my presentation will be divided into four parts. First, I will do a brief summary of the trip, and the second, I will introduce a surprising event we happened to encounter. And this third part, I will introduce the cuisines, and the fourth part, I will introduce the reflection. And the trip is a five-day trip, and we choose this place called Nepali to settle because it's very convenient for transportation. And we choose the Sensoji Temple as the first place to begin our trip. And there's an interesting thing you can do is to draw a fortune stick. All you have to do is pay a hundred yen, and you will get a stick. And as you can see on the screen, that's the stick I got. And at first I couldn't understand it just by seeing it in Japanese, but in my mind I think that if it's a tourist spot, there should be English or even Chinese. So I turned the stick back, and there is it. In the middle, you can see there is English, and I put the first sentence here. Your request will be granted. And I'll introduce the surprising events we happen to encounter in the third day of our trip. As you can see on the title, heavy snow in the Tokyo area knocks out power to homes and disrupts travel. To us, knocks out power to home didn't happen to us, but disrupts travel, it did. Because I'll show you two videos that I shoot with my phone. That's how it looks like. And you can see that the snow is really heavy, and only at like 7 or 8 p.m. the snow have already covered the road. So when my family and I walk through the ice, slippery often happen like once in 5 seconds. So we have no options but to buy food from 7-Eleven and went back to our place to settle. And that's the surprising event we faced. But my friend said that it's very lucky for us to witness this because it's not very common to see nowadays in Tokyo. And the second spot I want to introduce is Karuizawa, and that's the last spot we traveled to. And Karuizawa is famous for its snowy scenery, and we took the Shinkansen from Ueno to reach there, and I'll show you a video of the scenery from the window. And for your information, Shinkansen is a lot faster than the high speed railway in Taiwan. So it took only about an hour to reach from Ueno to Karuizawa. And when going out from the gate, if you turn right, you'll reach the shopping mall, which a lot of people would choose to go. But on the left hand side, it will be the old, like original Karuizawa, and all the scenery will be restored there. And so at first our family chose to go to the left side to admire the scenery, and you can see all the photos. It's the road is all covered with snow, and I think it's very astonishing because we can see it in Taiwan. In the third part, I'm going to introduce the cuisines we had in Japan. And well, and while talking about Japanese food, I think most people will come up with ramen, and of course we don't have a lot of that. And these two pictures, they seem delicious, don't they?
Yeah.
And my favorite kind of meat is beef, and luckily Japan is also enriched with high-end beef and also wagyu, and I'll show photos of that. And a funny story of this picture is that we lined for 2 hours just to get this meal, and but we think it's worth it because it's so delicious. And this slide I put randomly pictures of food we have there, and um, this is sashimi for tuna, and this is the ice cream from Hokkaido, but I didn't have the ice cream in Hokkaido. And that is the sushi I just talked about, and the interesting thing is that they will have masters in a bar, and they will prepare the sushi right after you order it. And in the reflection part, I'll be introducing something that I found interesting with. And the cultural difference is that I want to ask you guys a question. Do you know where the driver's seat is located? No, the driver's seat is in Tokyo.
On the right.
Yes, and since the driver's seat is on the right hand side, the traffic is also opposite against Taiwan, and so I found an interesting is that people riding on the escalator will follow the traffic rule also, because in Taiwan most people would stand on the right hand side to go up, and the left hand side is for people with urgency to walk faster, but in Japan it's the opposite. People would stand on the left hand side. And the price, I found that for most of the things is cheaper than Taiwan, but it doesn't have like budget food for people who needs to save money. Like the cheapest thing you can get, I think, is from the convenience store, and that's the thing I found interesting with. And that's all for my presentation. Thank you for listening.